Black Friday. Although it does not look good on me, I went ahead and bought it anyway. For if I cannot afford it, they will never be able to say. I put it on and it was tight, but the name stapled on a label that made it look all right. I was complimented that whole night. I caught it on sale at a discount, knowing that I was charged 10% more than the original amount. I sat it on my mantle, gave it a wall mount. When they looked through my window, they saw my big flat every time I turned my back. When they stood near the fence for a view, although they said I live in low income, but I have always brought in the new. Hell, I'm fly, never a bum. For my hair to my skin, all wanted some. Pieces of the world said just being me, I am good. So they invited me to every cookout in the neighborhood. They wanted my company. I made their world shine with importance. Even their personal business, they would let me chime. So when I stepped out of my apartment to get into the elevator, before they could smell the stench in the hallways, in the exits, they would recognize me. Tell me how good I looked, how pretty, they would say to me, while asking to ride with me in my luxury. Well, and the men flirted viciously. Because I lived among the few that the world counted out, where there are no trees lined around and about. I lived around them, those that could never resist me. And for them in the big stores, always show me respect. It was not a requirement for me to change my natural body design, to get in front of the line and at any time. Although many hated that I was the preferred kind, yet it was a sale to me, since I stored up my money. And although I did look the part, where the overpriced brought families to their knees, I was one of the ones that they would often try to please. So I was pleased. Many are the thoughts of so unfair. And oh, I was never cheated. As I watch those around feel defeated. Who would do such to me when I come from the privileged society? Doors open for me that they will never see. For those things that looked expensive but sold really cheaply. They knew that I had the look, the part. I let them use me sometimes just to show that I stand with them, to get some finer things and to ease their minds. Yet patronizing and violating the already wealthy, taking back some of the things that we stole to keep these people worry-free. In return, I was made cool. Because for me, it was status. Well, respected living in the swell, where the world has convinced us that having color is a hell. Knowing I was their show and tell for status, that many knew I had come along with my privilege. I never had to speak well. I never had to tell the truth when I tell. Yet accepted to any place I could dwell. But not all accepted in every place that I went. Although they enhanced their personal endowments, it was not enough. For them and many others, this life was made tough. Did it really matter where I live? since I did not need a Black Friday to feel privileged. I can fit in with any heritage. I am always gonna be accepted. Black Friday, guys. Guys, listen, if you like the poem and you understand it, give me some hearts. Tap the screen. I would appreciate that, guys. Listen, if you miss any of the recaps, the quotes, the clips, or if you're looking for Skin Poetry 1, okay, guys, go ahead and log into your threads, because it is available on threads, okay, not live, but, the recaps, the quotes, and the clips. Please feel free to log into your threads, your Facebook, your fan base, your Instagram, YouTube, and your TikTok to catch up with the poetry from today, from This Imperfect Poetry Thursday. It'll be available Saturday and Sunday over the weekend, okay? Again, guys, the poem was called Black Friday, okay? So that's why you hear a lot of beautiful blackness in the music, okay? Because this poem was clearly not a Black woman who we discussed, all right? Who lived amongst those in the hood. She was not a Black woman, okay? This was what the world called the ghetto before regentrification took place, okay? The ghetto. She lived in the ghetto before it was regentrified. That's what this poem is about. She lived amongst them, but she lived as a queen because they led her to feel very comfortable. Okay? She was very comfortable. Okay? That's why they greeted her and told her she was pretty and made her feel very comfortable about where she dwelled. Okay? And due to how she looked is why she was very comfortable. As she expressed that her hair and her skin, made her feel like she was winning, right? Although many hated the privilege she received, they knew it came along with her looks. They knew, as of today, privilege come along with looks. Some had found ways to use her to their benefit. She allowed it, as others gave her a pass to use them, and they treated her more special than their own kind who lived in the same predicament as she did because of her hair and her skin. As they treated her, who had the same lifestyle, superior, due to their inferior self-esteem, right? Because society has made us think we should be inferior, right? So they treated her as she was superior to them. Just to be in her presence. All right, just to be in her presence, it made them feel relevant to the world. All right, they treated her like she was superior, and just to be in her presence, it made them feel relevant to the world because she entertained them, as they did she. They trusted her with a higher level. They treated her with a higher level, of respect, and within their own culture because of how she looked. Sound familiar? She was with understanding of the oppression in their history, and she understood the unfair treatment that they received in their history as well. She said how they were charged 10% more for things on sale, although the environment that they lived in, they had much less. Black Friday. Because of this, she used her privilege to assist them with taking back some of what they had lost. Okay, so she did allow them to use her, but she benefited because unlike so many others, she actually knew the history of the mistreatment towards them at the hands of the people from which she came from, her own culture. Their bad treatment helped them to become a privileged people. She knew that. Okay? But her efforts were still not free for them. They traded by giving her the keys to their culture. That's why she was invited to every cookout in the neighborhood. She gained acceptance by being invited to the cookouts, and she gained their trust by letting them ride in her luxury car. See the priority? Luxury car, low-income housing, no balance there. Her priorities, similar to many of them. It appears that in this poem, that her priorities did align with theirs. They shopped in the same places, many of them. They resided in low-income housing, and they even admired her for having some of the things that they actually wanted to have. Similar? Sound familiar? The priority for all of them was status. Status. You see that in the hood a lot. All right, you see it more so before the hood was regentrified because they started erasing out the low income and trying to put in more of the wealthy, making it inaffordable for those with lower income. So they all wanted status while living in a low income neighborhood. And she brought it because she had the perfect look. She could play the part. And they knew that her privilege could never be denounced anywhere that she wouldn't. So they welcomed her because she had the look and she could play the part. So she was handed so much information about the cultural family because they all were pleased by the little things that she could offer. She had the look. She can play the part. She offered little, but what her gain was great. She got a great ROI, return on her investment. This is just pretty much saying we will give up our biggest expensive secrets to living through oppression and living through mistreatments and establishing a decent lives for ourselves with so little, but for a penny to trade. We'll give it up. We have. Everybody comes to the cookout. We are not invited to many. This is just for them to feel accepted and to have a leg up on their own people. Look, I'm with her. Who you with? You will use her with the good hair and skin just to feel like you're somebody and have a leg up on your own people. Really, does that work? I have a story. I know somebody that will do that to their own sister. Okay? She will see her sister going through a hard time. And instead of helping her sister, okay, make life easier for herself, because she can, she seeks the opportunity to brag about the smallest things to her own sister who is going through a hard time. She really does not have much. She can call her own. She doesn't have a lot to call her own. But she will brag to her sister who is going through a very hard time and treat her friend of a different culture better than she treats her sister, who is blood related. That's foul. So I gave this story because this happens within our culture a lot. We would treat everybody else, all right, outside of the culture a little better than we treat our own, just to feel like we got a leg up on those within our own culture. We do it. Nobody's saying it, but we do it. Yes, we do. Okay, and it doesn't make you no better. You just have a little bit of an association. But you know what? You can build the great association. You don't have to latch on to somebody else in a different arena. It's good to have friends, multicultural, and be attached to many different people and get love all over the place. But it doesn't necessarily mean that for status, you need to latch on to them and accept their way of being just so you can come into your culture and say, look what I've accomplished. Have you really? But this is the kind of people right there. That sister that does that to her sister. The person that will let this person come to every cookout just to say I got status. Do you guys know that we will never get treated any nicer when it comes to seeking acceptance outside of our own culture and family? Maybe by some, but not by many. Okay? And we only get invited to the cookout for two reasons. Okay? And I'm saying it. One of the reasons is maybe we got money. Now they want to sell us a plate of something we really don't need to eat, but they seek to profit off of us. Metaphor. Figure it out. Or number two, when there is an opportunity to steal our financial legacy and generationally support their own. Yep. Many do it. Many of us do not mind leaving our legacy in the hand of somebody else just to prove we got status. All right? We'll leave our legacy in the culture of others just to say we got status. Look at how many celebrities have made this very mistake. And look what happens to their legacy and where it goes. So, yes. Come on, Buju. Listen, I have a question after the song. Come me love me back, me love me money, damn thing. Most of all, me love me brownie. Love me, come me love me back, me love me money, damn thing. Most of all, me love me brownie. Yes, Buju. Jamaica, Jamaica.